I'd shoot a quick video to answer some questions about how the new rekluse clutch is working. I haven't had a chance to get it on the trail yet, but bopping around the yard here, you can still get a pretty good idea of what it'll do. Hopefully the audio comes over okay as I'm talking. I don't know, the bike won't be too loud. So I'll go ahead and put it in gear. It's actually in gear now. You can sort of tell it's trying to turn the motor a bit. I'll start it without my hand on the clutch. Oops. Alright, let's try it in neutral. Okay, so I'm at an idle. I'll put it in gear. You see, I'm not touching the clutch. It's in gear. So it slips the clutch for you when you're taking off. I chose the medium engagement RPM. It's kind of like snowmobile. That's the RPM at which the clutch will actually lock up and start going. And then I chose the hard rate. That's how hard it grabs. So like the difference between feathering the clutch out slow or, you know, letting it go pretty quick. I chose the pretty quick mode, and I'm not going to know if that's going to be good enough until I get it out on the trail. It's supposed to be the best compromise for tight technical riding. It'll freewheel to a certain extent when you lock the rear wheel up. If you're going at just the right RPM and speed, gear, etc., it will stall the engine. So, like I said, I got to get out on the trail and see exactly if that's going to work out for me. And get some more time on it and get it properly broken and everything before I know how it's really going to work. But so usually my routine is, so far I'll start it in neutral. I will use the clutch when I stab it in gear, and then I'll release the clutch. Just kind of a quick test, and it kind of tells you that whether everything's working right. Obviously the bike shouldn't go. If you need to blip the throttle, then you're going to need to either be in neutral or have the clutch pulled in, override the rekluse. Otherwise it's going to want to go. I can see circumstances in which you'd be wanting to get the bike up on the pipe, like blasting out of the corner, maybe, or something like that, where you might go for the clutch anyway, and to get the RPMs up, and that's doable, provided you leave the stock clutch setup. As you can see, it takes very little effort, pinky, to pull the clutch in. That's no different when it's running. Difference being, there's normally spring pressure holding the clutch closed. Well, that's no longer there. There's a small wave spring about this big, and when the clutch activates, it actually pushes in on that spring, and that's kind of the RPM thing, how many RPMs before it starts engaging. So anyway, none of the traditional clutch pressure is there, so it makes the clutch pull really light, and it feels weird, like it's broke. So one thing that I found is that the lockup on this clutch is better than my stock clutch ever was. This thing wheelies like nobody's business in first gear. Once the clutch locks up, it's really positive. There we are, we're idling. It's got maybe just a little bit of drag. That's normal. Like I said, once it locks up, that front end comes right up. Slow it right down. down to a darn near a stop. You could really crawl through stuff without having to fan the clutch. It'll take some getting used to. Trust me, I'm not touching the clutch. You can sort of hear how it engages. You can do, heck, you could even do second gear starts. Right now I'm in second gear. Now it is slipping the clutch more. And if you were going at normal trail speed, I guess, normal second gear trail speed, that would be ideal. No different than starting out in first gear. You know, it uses a clutch pack, so if you're up in high gear all the time doing what I'm doing now, it's going to be hard on the clutch. It's not something you want to do. You know, it has its limits. I'll go back into first. Find neutral. That's that. So hopefully you could hear my voice over all that ruckus. And thanks for watching.